What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day today. Today's show is really not even going to be a show. It's going to be more of a discussion, sharing information. Some of the information, some already know. Some of you don't know. Some of you don't even want to know. Okay. Only thing that I ask is that we respect each other in the comments and don't attack each other. We're going to attack the issue. We're going to take the feelings out of it, leave the emotions at home. All right. Separate them from what you're about to see today and what you're going to hear today. We have to unite together. We have to get some kind of understanding. We got to get some middle ground here. And the only way we're going to do that is by talking about these things with an unbiased eye and dialogue. All right. So joining me, I have Anthony B. The Change Russo. What's up, brother?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Tired.
Angry Vikings on his way right now. He's running a little bit late. That's okay. But yeah, man, how are you feeling about all of this stuff that's going on with this Breonna Taylor case?
Well, first off, I need to just pay my respects to my puppy's testicles because he is currently.
You got him snipped.
He's getting snipped right now. So with that, now that that's passed, and I can have that moment, which is why I drove through the night. Since I was driving through the night, and I'm a terrible driver when it comes to texting and driving and looking at Facebooking and driving.
Shouldn't do that.
I shouldn't. It's terrible. I actually had my assistant next to me as my imaginary friend who was telling me everything going on. But it's interesting. There were some positives yesterday throughout that drive that I saw where people literally were coming to me going, I didn't know that all these facts are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going, I didn't know that this was actually the truth and what was the truth. And if it's the truth, then at least it's up for debate. But people and it shows the power of the media and how big of a name Breonna Taylor has become, because there is still very intelligent people that I am friends with that are stuck in the mentality that this woman was asleep in her bed, that she was still an EMT, which again, your background doesn't mean you should be killed in any way, shape, or form. But like we had this, it's like when we see the pictures of Michael Brown in 8th grade in his marching band outfit, it's just this triggered system that's put in front of us to create these completely false narratives. And people are still stuck on the original thing they heard about the case and unable to move past what the grand jury has found. It's scary and it's tough. And there is some intangibles, like we don't know if they said police. And I get and I listened to what you were saying last night, it's police at midnight, but even if they didn't, and if they thought it was a robbery, it's a tragic situation, but it's not. The cops didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
There's just it's a tragedy. It's just not a murder by police. Like what do you expect them to do?
Well, here's the thing. There's other things that came out that said that the guy that was in the house with her, Walker, he thought it was her other boyfriend coming. So he pulled his gun out thinking that he was gonna shoot this dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like either way it goes, the dude, he was in the wrong. He was in the wrong.
And it's sad, but we react with emotion so much now, and it's impossible. Once it's such a weird thing that you just can't change that initial concept. Which Mama Russo asked me this earlier. Who put out the original news that it was an innocent woman sleeping in her bed and not in the hallway? Like
exactly.
Who put that out? If we don't see the issue in that,
I couldn't even tell you. While we wait for Angry Viking, I'm going to go ahead and read some of this report to you guys. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. By the way, if you're watching me through Facebook right now and you have not gone over to my YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button, I have a problem with you. Not really. But please, if you could, go to YouTube, hit the subscribe. That way you will always be notified. Ring that bell. You will always be notified when I go live and when we do these type of events. All right. So that being said, let's move it on forward. All right, so LMPD homicide unit learned that the vehicle their most recent victim, Fernandez Bowman, was found in was a rental and had been rented by Breonna Taylor with an address of 3003 Springfield Drive, number 4, Louisville, Kentucky. At approximately 05:30 hours, Detective Y. Baker and J. Speaks went to Miss Taylor's address to conduct an interview regarding any knowledge she may have had or that she may have that would be relevant to the homicide investigation. Upon contact with Ms. Taylor, detectives observed a male in the apartment with her identified as Jamarcus Glover. Then he gives his date of birth. Ms. Taylor stated that she did not know the victim and that she found out what had possibly happened from her boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover. Ms. Taylor stated that she had been dating Jamarcus Glover for approximately 3 to 4 months and allowed him to drive her rental car. Ms. Taylor provided detectives with the contact number of, which is redacted, same phone number Jamarcus Glover provided on 2/14/2020 when he called LMPD's First Division to file a complaint of his vehicle being towed, as well as the same phone number that is consistent with the history of jail calls between Jamarcus Glover and Ms. Taylor. Okay? It is important to note that the homicide victim is the brother of Demarius Bowman, which is one of Jamarcus Glover's associates and has been arrested with Jamarcus Glover numerous times. I didn't even know that. I did not know that. Huh. Let's keep it moving.
There's so much in that. By the way, we talked about this earlier too. You can't actually copy paste this link into Facebook. It does not.
It will not let you put this on Facebook, but this is why I'm doing it this way. So if you guys haven't heard any of this stuff that I'm about to present to you, it's because Facebook will not let it be put on Facebook. You will not find this on Facebook. You will have to go to TatumReport.com. Thank you, Officer Tatum, for putting this out. Appreciate it. Dope. All right.
And it's been out for weeks too. Like we've been talking about it for weeks, and still, like even Fox News doesn't really cover it. They just give just enough to get them by. But it's like, why is this stuff being hidden? Why?
Exactly. But right here, if we go forward, it says 12/30/2019. First Division executed simultaneous search warrants at 2424 Elliott Avenue, 2426 Elliott Avenue, and 2605 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard. Arrested Adrian Walker, Rayshawn Lee, Darrell Forrest, Jamarcus Glover on 01/30/2020. Warrant of arrest served. Dominique Crenshaw, 1/03/2020. Warrant of arrest served. Gives all the other names of these guys that got arrested. The evidence that was seized was 5 handguns, 1 was stolen, 3 long guns, 4.9 grams of crack cocaine, 14.4 grams of marijuana, 2 cell phones, and assorted drug paraphernalia and surveillance systems. On 12/31, this is the day after, the place-based investigation team selected their first microcell location, with the perimeters being South 24th Street to South 28th Street and West Broadway to Magazine Street. Based on an increase in violent crime reported in the area, i.e. aggravated assaults and narcotics-related offenses, detectives started to gather research within this designated area, such as calls for service, incident reports, and narcotic-related crime tips. A lot of the call volume and narcotic-related crime tips led detectives to 2424 Elliott Avenue. Additionally, through physical surveillance, detectives observed the vehicular and foot traffic had picked up at 2424 Elliott Street, or Elliott Avenue, with a couple of days of the First Division executing their search warrants. On 1/02/2020, so this is 2 days later, the team had LMPD's technical unit install a pole camera at the intersection of South 24th Street and Elliott Avenue facing west. Within an hour of the pole being installed, detectives witnessed approximately 15 to 20 vehicles go to and from 2424 Elliott Avenue for a short period of time, which is indication of narcotic trafficking. At 17:52:30 hours, detectives observed a white 2016 Chevrolet Impala pulled up in front of 2424 Elliott Avenue, and Jamarcus Glover exited the passenger side of the vehicle, bookmarked on Terabyte Drive. The vehicle was registered to Breonna Taylor at 3003 Springfield Drive, number 4, Louisville, Kentucky. All right. Now, half of this stuff I didn't even know. I did not read any of this stuff before. The stuff that I read was just jail calls. See, we're getting this right here is exposing, and before I keep going, it's showing everything that had led detectives to believe that she was a part of what they had going on. Okay? When people were like, they were at the wrong house. They were not at the wrong house. They were so serious about this that they installed a pole. They installed, a camera on a pole. That's how serious this investigation was.
Yeah, it's been going for a long time, and months and months. And I mean, it's a typical. The thing is, this happens. This happens more often than we know, and it just why this one specifically? Because they could put some pictures of her being this upstanding EMT and create a narrative of her being asleep in bed that makes it seem like the cops are demons again, and it just, they find these perfect instances to divide. That's why that was one of the conversations I had yesterday. Why this case? Why is it such a big deal? It shouldn't be. It was an unfortunate situation. It was a tragedy, but we don't care about the crossfire in Chicago. We don't care about, like, these are the things that they put in front of our media to divide us constantly. It drives me nuts.
Check this out. This is where it starts to get deep. All right, check this out, you guys. Share this video out, by the way. If you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate you. If you're watching on Facebook, please go to YouTube. Ann, how you doing? Love you, Ann. Amy, love you. Check this out, though. This is about to get deep. These are the jail phone calls from Jamarcus Glover on 1/3/2020. Glover calls redacted, but Breonna Taylor from booking. Jay Glover says to Taylor, call Doug, who is Adrian Walker, on Facebook and see where the explicit Doug is at. He's got my effing money, riding around in my mother effing car, and he ain't even where he's supposed to be at. Taylor says to him, you said Doug? He said, yeah, Big Doug. She said, I'll call him. Why can't I find him on Facebook? What's his name on here? He said, Michi Walker. Glover calls Breonna again. Did you talk to Doug? Yeah, I did. He said he was already back at the trap. Then I talked to him again just a minute ago to see if you had contacted him. They couldn't post bond till 1. So he says to her, just be on standby so you can come and get me. I love you. She said, love you too. Next phone call, same day, to Breonna Taylor from Jamarcus. I'm going to come get me some rest in your bed. She said, Jamarcus. He said, what, you don't want me in your bed? She said, I didn't say that. I haven't really been sleeping right either. I keep waking up every hour type shit. Jamarcus says, checking on me. I want you to know that I appreciate it. She said, when you're around, I stress more because I just always be worried about you. Not like with you and females, but
right
with just period with the police, all that kind of stuff. Y'all heard that. Hold on, let me bring in Angry Viking. He just got in. What's up, brother?
Oh, what's up, Cash and Ant?
Bro, we're going over the whole phone call record, bro.
Man, I've read that thing like 20 times. Girl was doing dirt.
Yeah,
I read that thing like 20 times.
But while you're going through this, Cash, the only thing that's debatable that in the whole thing is whether or not they said they were police. Like people even said, well, do we know that they knocked? It's not just the one person that's next door that said they knocked. No, the dude that shot back said the reason he shot was because somebody banged on the door. So this is the only thing that is hearsay is the police saying, yo, police. Besides that, everything else is spot on to the police report. Like, you can't fake. They couldn't have dragged Breonna out of her bed and put her in the middle of the hallway. Like, these are not disputable facts, and people don't understand that. They're not disputable.
I agree.
Well,
I agree. But you hear the conversation, the context of the conversation. She's telling him, like, yo, I'd be worried, bro, when you around, because it ain't got nothing to do with females. It got to do with the police. So she knew what was going on.
Well, and on top of that, if y'all remember, I mean, so just think about the neighborhood, you know, that I mean, that's the trap house, right?
Yeah.
She's laid up with dudes. That's a trap house. For that neighbor to go on the record and say they said police is probably going against neighborhood code.
Definitely.
So it's not like this neighbor had something to gain from saying, no, they definitely said police. I heard them. It woke me up. You know what I mean? For them to be able to, you know, to benefit from that. So this whole thing of whether, because the bottom line is this: they had a no-knock warrant. They didn't have to announce. You know what I'm saying? But they did anyway. So you're telling me they announce, they both show up in the hallway, and she gets hit 7 times after 30 rounds are fired, and he don't get a scratch, and he wasn't using
I
her
feel
as
like
a
he
meat
hit
shield?
behind her.
What's that?
So I feel like he hit behind her.
He did have behind her. How does she have gunfire? Listen, he definitely. I'm not gonna say what I was about to say, but he definitely. I'm telling you right now, that dude hid behind him. A bigger question of all this, because everyone's screaming justice for Breonna, justice for Breonna. Well, how about we charge the motherfucker that used her as a shield, shot a cop, and then
I agree.
because here's the thing: if me and you, Cash, me and you go to a convenience store and rob that thing, right? And you shoot the clerk, I'm charged the exact same way.
Yeah, you're an accessory.
As an accessory to murder. How come he shoots the cop, charges are dropped, she dies as a result of him because they only shot because he shot first, which he admitted to, and he's not even getting charged for her murder. You want justice? How about you go after the right people, not the cops?
I agree. This right here that I'm about to read is very important. I want you guys to hear this. Everybody who's listening right now, check this out. All right, so it says, it is important to note, pardon me, it is important to note that from 1/1/2016 to 1/3/2020, Breonna Taylor's phone number, which is redacted, was called 48 times from jail. Unfortunately, several of the calls are no longer available to listen to, and when the number is called from booking, it does not provide the inmate's name. However, once the inmate is booked and assigned to a dormitory, the system is able to track the inmate that is making the call. In the time frame referenced above, Jamarcus Glover and Breonna Taylor 26 times from the dormitory, and a male by the name of Curtis Palm called Breonna Taylor 7 times from his dormitory. Curtis Palm has a conviction of possession of a controlled substance, which is cocaine, in 2016, as well as his history of other felony convictions per courtnet.whatever. So she had been in contact with multiple people, all right, multiple people from jail, including this guy, Jamarcus, all right? So regardless of what people want to feel about, she was this or she was that, the fact is that what we can verify and what we know is that she was in contact with people that were incarcerated a couple times, more than a couple times, because of drugs and trafficking drugs. That we can say without a reasonable doubt. This is a fact. This is not me, my feelings. This is not what somebody told me. This is what we're reading from court records and documented phone calls. Okay, so take out the feeling aspect of it, of you thinking that Breonna Taylor was this innocent angel, and I'm not saying that she was a bad person. I'm just saying don't make her a saint, like she didn't have any part to play in what was going on.
Cash, you might be wrong. I've heard that he was a professional chef, and maybe she just needed recipe advice because she's a bad cook, and so she had to call 44 times to make sure she was making the casserole right.
Yeah, that could be it, but I highly doubt it.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? No, you were right. He was a chef. He was cooking crack.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, if the first story that the media came out with was that, everybody would believe it.
Yes, they would. Hey, did you go over the very first thing on this report, the first page?
Yes, I did.
Dead body in a car renting her name. I mean, this isn't. Listen, what's driving me nuts is them keep showing that EMT. She hasn't been an EMT. She stole drugs from the ambulance. This is what a lot of people don't understand. She wasn't an EMT. She hasn't been an EMT since 2016. Why did she get fired for being an EMT? She stole drugs from the fucking ambulance. You know what I'm saying?
I heard. I actually heard it was I heard it was partially because she was being tied to the rental car she returned with a dead body in it.
That's what kind of started it. But then she was already under investigation for this. And then she took the drugs, and then they piss test her, and then she fails the drug test. So they tied it all together. Said, okay, you got dead bodies in your car, you got drugs missing from your ambulance, and you failing drug tests. You got to go. Okay, this was not some innocent, sweet person that they want to put in that EMT uniform. Matter of fact, as a medic. I mean, she's a disgrace to the medic. She did everything that makes people not trust first responders. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She stole
That's
drugs from the
important.
ambulance. She failed drug tests. She was renting cars for drug dealers that, I'm just going to put it out there, either Jamarcus did or did not know, but I'm going to say he probably had a hand in old boy dying in the passenger seat. Because, I mean, it was her car, right? And now, you know, I just love how the media spins this thing like, which she was just, yeah, because, you know, we've been covering these riots or these protests or whatever you want to call them for the last 2 days, and I hear people saying, you know, I'm being oppressed by them. They're kicking in doors and killing our people. What the fuck are you talking about? Don't lay up, be a trap queen in a trap house. You wouldn't be killed. Simple.
That's real. That's a fact, bro. You ain't said nothing wrong. That's a fact. So let's keep this rolling real quick because this is getting deep. And the deeper that we get into this, the more truth you guys are going to get. The more truth you're going to know. All right?
Hey,
And
make sure we cover at one point that $12 million that was given and why that was given. So we'll
we're
get to
going to
that.
get to all of that.
Let's make sure we do
We're
that.
going to cover it all today. We're going to be on here for a while. I don't know how much time you guys got, but I plan on being here for quite a while.
I'm here.
All right, so moving forward. On January 9th, 2020, at this point in the investigation, PBI detectives had conducted physical surveillance and surveillance through the pole camera numerous times on the 2400 block of Elliott Avenue. Through the PBI detectives' training and experience, 2424 Elliott Avenue appeared to be the trap house where drugs are sold, and the suppliers of the narcotics for the trap house were Jamarcus Glover and Adrian Walker. PBI detectives observed through their surveillance that when the narcotics being dealt from 2424 Elliott Avenue were low, minimal pedestrian and vehicle traffic. Jamarcus Glover and Adrian Walker would show up operating a red 2017 Dodge Charger and appeared to re-up the trap house, 2424 Elliott. Both individuals had been observed either entering or exiting 2424 Elliott Avenue, or both dropping suspected narcotics near the sidewalk between the vacant houses on 2425 Elliott Avenue and 2427 Elliott Avenue. Once they left the area, pedestrians and vehicle traffic resumed to normal. From the hood, I'm telling you, that's exactly how it goes. That's exactly how it will go. All right? It says during the early afternoon hours on 1/9/2020, PBI detectives observed the red 2017 Dodge Charger leaving 2424 Elliott Avenue. Detectives attempted to follow the vehicle to further the investigation into Jamarcus and Adrian criminal enterprise. PBI detectives had a difficult time following the vehicle as the operator was conducting heat checks by driving around the same block twice, using evasive maneuvers by making abrupt turns and unsafe lane changes. Since the PBI detectives had exhausted all conventional means of surveillance on this vehicle, a search warrant for a GPS tracking device to be installed on the vehicle was applied for and signed. That I didn't even know that. So they knew that they had the heat on them, boys. So they doing evasive maneuvers, which very smart. I give him his props on that. Being a former
Whoa, Criminal Cash. Whoa.
just saying that he was being pretty slick there. All right. But it says on 1/10/2020, LMPD's tech unit installed the GPS tracking device on the red 2017 Dodge Charger. From 1/12/2020 to 1/31/2020, the data from the GPS tracking device shows that the vehicle went to 3003 Springfield Drive 6 times. 1/12/2020, 1/14/2020, 1/16/2020, 1/20/2020, 1/26/2020, and 1/31/2020. That's a lot of times, guys. That's how you're re-upping or you're picking something up or dropping something off at a space. That's how you would see it from that space to time, depending on how good somebody is at doing what they do when they get what they get. That's what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? That's how it will go. Every week to 2 weeks, you go in and you're dropping something off, picking something up. All right? So on 1/16/2020, PBI detectives observed Jamarcus Glover operating the red 2017 Dodge Charger pull up and park in front of the 3003 Springfield Drive. PBI detectives then observed Jamarcus Walker walk directly into apartment 4. After a short period of time, Jamarcus Glover was observed exiting the apartment with a suspected USPS package in his right hand. Detective Kelly Goodlett was able to take photographs. He attached Jamarcus Glover, then got back into the red 2017 Dodge Charger and drove straight to 2605 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard. Through physical surveillance, PBI detectives had observed numerous short stays, both pedestrian and vehicle, at 2605 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard, as well as DeMarcus Glover and his associates come and go from that location. PBI detectives believe the 2605 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard was a secondary trap house in the narcotics trafficking operation, as you can see in the photos on the screen. I know they're small because we're all on here, but they're all right there. If you guys want to see this, again, go to TatumReport.com. You can read this for yourself. It's all there. TatumReport.com. All right. You guys want to weigh in on anything so far before we keep going to February?
Cash, you can actually put let me find it. You could put the link that actually has where to find this specific thing, and then you have to click on the police report if people want to find it. I'll go ahead and get it. I'll put it in the private chat. You can throw it up.
Okay, cool.
Well, by the way, once we're at this point, if you look around, to anybody that thinks that they were at the wrong house and at the wrong person, by this point in the report, it's pretty damn obvious that she and her close accomplice has been being watched, very much so. This wasn't that they were just showing up at some other apartment. By this point, you get that you should have that clear in your head.
Yep.
If you have common sense.
Common sense, make that comment.
I mean, I had this report when I was in Louisville, whenever we were at our rally. I read it, and I was like, well, these guys are innocent. That's all I needed to see. I mean, it's pretty damn obvious this girl was not as innocent as she said she was. You know what I'm saying?
If this is happening right now for Breonna Taylor, what's going to happen when the police officers and George Floyd are going to be? Because I don't see them getting a murder charge either because of how much. There's no way. I mean, it could be involuntary manslaughter.
That cop needs to have something happen to him. He should have had something happen to him. Off topic. That guy that did that to George Floyd, that cop was a piece of work, bro, for real.
I agree.
He got 18 charges on him or whatever he had on him. Complaint. And he was just a bad cop, man. He should have never been stopped.
But here's the thing.
George Floyd was an idiot. Rest in peace to him. But you know what I mean. I'm not even gonna get into it because I already got people.
Yeah, but I have one thing to bring up that kind of went that direction. Here's the deal: they're gonna if they go for murder, he won't be convicted,
and then it'll cause an uprising.
And if they go for involuntary manslaughter, they'll be mad that they're not going for murder, and there'll be an uprising either way. That is literally a lose-lose situation. I do not see that ending well, no matter how we look at it.
Can someone answer me a question? Because I've been confused on this for a while. Why the hell was the $12 million paid out?
I don't know. That shocked me too. That makes you feel like they're guilty.
Oh no, I can tell you. So here's the deal. So I've been having this conversation. They're like, if they weren't guilty, why did they pay $12 million? So if you see people sharing the statistic on wrongful deaths of police officers costing our country billions of dollars, it's because we as a country, which I didn't know this until now, and so I started doing the research. Most times where there is a somebody that's killed by police officers or killed because of a police officer action, they pay out to the family of the person that dies, no matter if they were deserving of it or not. If they can find a way to get out of it, maybe. But typically, the NAACP, if they're a person of color, will fight tooth and nail for the family to receive money. Breonna Taylor, I don't believe they actually, I can't remember the rest of the police report, but I do not believe they found drugs or money at the house, which therefore meant that the warrant might not have been good, even though that they're all of the things that we're going through show why they were there. But in the end, it was like there was no weapons of mass destruction. So that wasn't there. She never shot at the police officers. So essentially, the state has to pay them a bunch of money. That does not mean the police were guilty. That means that the system failed everything in that one moment, so they pay it. So technically, a dude that gets killed by a police officer in like a high-speed chase, even if it's his fault, typically there will be money paid out to the family, and that's why it's in the billions every year, and that's why Breonna Taylor was paid out $12 million.
I just gotta say real quick, Danielle, I agree with you 100% wholeheartedly.
What is it? What'd she say? Oh, Danielle.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's where the $12 million comes from. To be totally honest, and I don't know where they set that number.
And to clarify, because I'm sure my man Cash is gonna get to this in this report because it's in this report. Just to clarify, It's not that they didn't find anything. He was left alone in that apartment by himself with the body for over 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, he was not. He was left alone. Whether they thought they had shot him and he was dead, and they just moved out, but he was left alone in that apartment for over 15 minutes. He flushed them drugs without a doubt. Without a doubt, they
we
were.
Can only speculate. We can't. I mean,
we can
that's
speculate.
What it would look
But
like it would be. That's what it looks like it would be pertaining to. If we're going by this report and everything that we're hearing, but we don't know that about that guy.
That's true. That's true. That's
So,
true. I just say in the report, it does say they have a history of flushing drugs.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? In the report, it even says they got arrested and were caught flushing drugs during they're serving a different warrant. And I think it was like 2016 or something.
I hear you. Before all we know, they were baking cookies in there.
You're right. You're right.
So,
baking
all right,
soda.
let's go real quick. We're gonna go. Hey, Rebecca, you're gonna get me in trouble because I said I wasn't gonna do that. I was gonna keep feelings out of it. If I told you how I feel, they'll probably want to run me off the road if they see me, bro. If I told you how I feel, so I'm leaving my feelings out of this.
Let's keep it the facts. You're right. Keep it the facts.
All right.
Cash,
So,
I have it up in the private chat.
Huh?
If you want to copy paste it, it's in the private chat. If you want to put it on the,
I'll do that. But on 2/4/2020, PB out of Texas applied for a second GPS tracking device on the red 2017 Dodge Charger because the first warrant was expired. At this point in the investigation, PB out of Texas learned via the GPS tracker that the red 2017 Dodge Charger had made a trip to Biloxi, Mississippi, where Jamarcus Glover once resided, and has had ties to narcotics trafficking within Mississippi. On 2/6/2020, PBI detectives submitted a grand jury subpoena for Jamarcus Glover, Adrian Walker, and Kara Bradley, Jamarcus' child's mother, Chase bank records. That's crazy. See, I didn't even know that. I don't know how I missed that. Says, we love you too, Walter.
What's up, Walter?
2/13/2020, at approximately 14:27 hours, PBI detectives observed through the poll camera Jamarcus Glover operating a black Dodge Charger pull up in front of 2424 Elliott Avenue and go inside the residence. The vehicle was registered to Breonna Taylor at 3003 Springfield Drive, Louisville, Kentucky, at approximately 14:30 hours. PBI detectives observed Breonna Taylor get out of the passenger side of the vehicle, look around for a few seconds before getting back into the vehicle. At approximately 14:32 hours, PBI detectives observed Jamarcus Glover exit 2424 Elliott Avenue, get back into the vehicle, and then vehicle pulled off eastbound on Elliott Avenue. It's important to note that PBI detectives have observed the poll camera, Breonna Taylor's black Dodge Charger, pull up in front of 2424 Elliott Avenue numerous times at varying hours of the day and night. All right. On 2/14, this is the next day, 2020, Officer Corey Evans towed the red 2017 Dodge Charger from 2605 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard for a parking violation. They are split, let me tell you. Jamarcus Glover went to the LMPD's first division desk clerk and attempted to file a complaint against Officer Evans. Jamarcus Glover gave the phone number redacted to contact him, which is registered to Breonna Taylor. PBI detectives were able to verify through which is contact him, which is registered to Breonna Taylor. PBI detectives were able to verify through Clear, a lawful enforcement database, that as of February 2020, Jamarcus Glover used Breonna Taylor's address, 3003 Springfield Drive, number 4, Louisville, as his residence. On 2/24/2020, PBI detectives received Jamarcus Glover's bank records from Chase Bank. On the bank statement, Jamarcus Glover used 3003 Springfield Drive, Louisville, or apartment 4, Louisville, Kentucky, as his mailing address. On 3/13, so now we're going into about 2 weeks later. All right. So right there, we see a couple things. We see Breonna Taylor not only let him use the car, but also was with him in the car, stopping at the supposed or alleged trap houses. All right, where he's probably picking up and dropping off. We don't know. But we know that he was doing something, okay? And she's with him. He's also going to from Kentucky to Mississippi, where they know that he has criminal ties with narcotics. Okay, and Brianna's with them. All right. So PBI detectives, with the assistance of other criminal interdiction. Did I say that? Interdiction? Yeah. Interdiction divisions, detectives, and the SWAT team executed simultaneous search warrants at 2424 Elliott Avenue, 2425 Elliott Avenue, and 2426 Elliott Avenue, and 3003 Springfield Drive, number 4. During a search of 2424 Elliott, detectives were able to recover a large amount of suspected crack cocaine and suspected fentanyl pills inside of a Crown Royal bag, and that sounds about right, in a tree in the backyard of the property that was hidden in order to avoid detection from law enforcement K9 Maverick. K9 Maverick alerted on the bag containing the narcotics. PBI detectives also located a large amount of U.S. currency, digital scales, and other evidence of narcotics trafficking within the residence. Pictures were taken of an attempt to destroy suspected cocaine by placing it inside the toilet tank, which is what my man was just talking about, in the residence. 3 firearms were recovered from the glove box of the beige 2001 Crown Victoria, and 1 firearm was received from the gap of the right front porch steps at the vacant house of 2426 Elliott Avenue, which is what we used to do where I come from. We would hide it in abandoned buildings under the porch and things like that. DeMarcus Glover, Demarius Bowman, Rayshawn Lee, Alicia Jones were located at 2424 Elliott at the time of the search warrant that was executed. PBI detectives were able to seize all these individual cell phones and execute search warrants on them. PBI detectives also obtained an LG&E bill from inside 2424 Elliott that had Adrian Walker's name on it. When the search warrant was executed at 3003 Springfield Drive, number 4, which Breonna Taylor was listed on, an officer-involved shooting occurred. And as a result, Breonna Taylor was killed. Present inside the apartment at the time of the search warrant, or the search warrant was executed, was Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker. The Public Integrity Unit, PIU, responded to the scene and took over the investigation. It is important to note that the PBI detective had a signed search warrant for 2605 West Muhammad Ali Boulevard, but due to the OIS and limited resources available, the warrant was unable to be served. Then we have more phone calls.
Here is where systemic racism still exists. Why is it that every Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Malcolm X Boulevard, and Muhammad Ali Boulevards are always in bad parts of town? Now, to me, that's some bullshit. If I want to, I think that needs to be addressed. If I were to actually say something, that needs to be addressed, personally.
I've actually said that multiple times. Me and Cash actually talked about that on the show. But,
yeah. All right.
Sorry.
So we ready for these phone calls, guys?
Yeah.
What's that?
You ready for the phone calls?
Yeah, man.
All right, here we go. This is where it gets good. I mean, not good, but you know what I mean. This is on 3/13/2020. Okay. Jamarcus Glover, redacted, to his child's mother, so his baby mama. She says to him, "Chop, that girl got killed over you." He said, "Why would you say that shit over me?" She's all my mail and shit. My mail ain't got nothing to do with Bree's house. No, but remember you had that bank statement in the other box, and you leave that behind for them to hit your house and all that. Putting 2 and 2 together. Come on, Chop, the way you move. Period. He said to her, "Dude told me I just seen you leave your baby mama house." She said they know. She said they know where we live at. He says to her, "Kira, they been on where we live at." She says that's what they find out when they got an investigation on a mother. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna find out everything. He said to her, "At the end of the day, it's all bullshit. It's some sugar water for some spaghetti we ate." She says to him, "They know that me and you hadn't been fucking around. That's probably why they didn't come to my house. But I feel like, Chop, if they knew it was if they know it's my house, why the hell wouldn't they have a search warrant?" He said to her, "They know I was there before. They would have came in. They knew I was there before. They would have came in there." She said to him, "Did you tell them it was your baby mama's house? Well, then why are you putting me in this motherfucking case, my nigga? Because you the one that they want. I don't know how much it's gonna take for you to know that you the only one that they want, Chop. He said to her, I'm hurt. My name getting called out about Bree's death. This nigga, Kenneth Walker, in jail. This nigga got Bree dead. At the end of the day, it was not my fault. It's this nigga's fault that's in here. The reason why it happened is this nigga sitting right here. She said, okay, did y'all talk or is he still on some defensive shit? He said to her, he said they were beating on the door. She said, yeah. So I would shoot too. Like, I got a gun up under my bed. If someone comes to my house at 12 o'clock at night, I would shoot too. I got to protect my kids. She said to him, you have got to stop moving so messy. You are the one that they want. Jay Glover calls his child's mother again. He said, call Dominique Crenshaw. Call when he gave the number. Then that line goes silent for a bit. Bradley comes back onto the line and says, Chop, he's on there. Jay Glover says to the unknown male, what up, Damo? Kenneth just got her killed, nigga. Sitting in this jail like it's all good. Like he's straight. Like it ain't his fault. Crenshaw says to Glover, so he the one shooting the gun? He said to him, yeah. He shoots at the police. They shoot back, Bree in the hallway, and she gets killed. Dominique gets off the phone. K. Bradley says to Glover, they searched that Crown Vic. You had 20K in the Crown Vic? He said, hell no. Hell no. I ain't been in that Crown Vic. Hold on. Okay. K. Bradley says to Jay Glover, that's where you've been hiding shit. Where your money at? Jay Glover says to K. Bradley, I was in the house, 2424 Elliott. They found that shit outside. K. Bradley says to Jay Glover, Daryl Forrest wants to talk to you. What's his number? So I can three-way. Jay Glover says to K. Bradley, gives him the number. Then the line goes silent for a bit. They hit the house last night. Bree got killed.
They hit the house last night.
Forrest says to Glover, I just got off the phone with Damo. I'm fixing to come back up there. Jay Glover calls redacted, his child and mother, from his dormitory. Everybody's calling because they're saying your baby mama got killed. K. Bradley says to Glover, her mama, Breonna Taylor's mom, and the No Limit crew, they basically like the nigga that she was messing with got her all caught up. The No Limit, they don't play. Jay Glover to K. Bradley, man, I don't care. K. Bradley to Jay Glover, I know you don't care. You don't care about shit. K. Bradley to Jay Glover, motherfuckers putting it to me like it came from you. Of course I'm gonna think that. And I know that they found mail and shit. Jay Glover to K. Bradley, me and Bree ain't been around each other in over 2 months. I ain't got nothing going on with Bree no more. Jay Glover calls, redacted. Which, by the way, if you guys remember all the stops and all of that kind of stuff, you know who she was with. All right. Jay Glover redacted. Unknown female, possibly Portia Moore. Jay Glover says to unknown female, hey, Kenneth Walker said motherfuckers knocked on the door, but he didn't know who it was. They asked who it was, but nobody ain't say nothing. He said they kicked the door and he bocked on him, which means he shot at him. He said they started shooting back and Bree was in the hallway and she got caught with bullets. Scott Glover's attorney. Scott Glover's attorney, or Scott Barton is Jay Glover's attorney. Scott know Bree. He know her. He been dealing with me and Bree the whole time I've been going through this shit. Jay Glover calls his baby mom from whatever. She says to him, so where your money at? He said, where my money at? Bree had like $8 grand. She said to him, Bree had $8 grand of your money? He said, yeah. She said, oh no, he said to her, tell Cruz Bree got down like 15 grand. She had 8 grand I gave her the other day, and she picked up another 6 grand. K. Bradley and Glover arguing over him not being honest and him having money at other people's house. Jay Glover says to K. Bradley, why are you doing this? She said, because my feelings are hurt. He said, why? Because the bread was at her house. He said to her, this is what you got to understand. Don't take it the wrong way. Me and Bree been handling all my money. She been handling all my money. She been handling all this shit for me because it ain't just me. Kay Bradley says to Jay Glover, but I mean, she should at least tell you where your money is at, Chop. He said to her, I can't talk to you about this on this phone, but I'll tell you exactly the reason why. She said, she should tell me where your money is. When you got money at the house, I'll tell you exactly where it's at. He said to her, it's no problem. I can walk in that house in Breeze and go directly to wherever it is with no problem. She said that, or they're arguing about him being honest and all this other stuff. And she says to him, motherfuckers are posting videos of you and all of that. He said, who posts videos of me? She said, tell or this Breonna Taylor where she's been with you since you ain't been at my house. At the same day, you post a picture, I guess she posted a video. You knew it because she said, what's up? She was in the bed with you. You kissing all over her. This shit is embarrassing. Then he calls. Jay Glover calls Adrian Walker. And Walker says to Jay Glover, she already got your money, but she picking up the money from Keisha. He said, how much is it for Keisha? He said, A. Walker says $1,000. Jay Glover says, everybody should $1,000. A. Walker said to Jay Glover, nope, Tinks is 5,000. Ray Sean is 10,000. Jay Glover says to A. Walker, for real? Well, get them 10% in the morning. We just got to make sure that the lawyers show up. Call Rika on three-way. The line goes silent. Oh, there's a lot of reading, y'all. There's a whole lot of reading. There's a whole lot. I'm going to keep it going, though. Okay, so he calls his baby mama. She says, it ain't even really about Bree because I already know. Motherfuckers done already gave me the blueprint on everything. I know that she was fucking with you. You bounce back and forth between these bitches, and I'm not doing none of that. It's messy. That could have been me. That could have been me, bro. That saying she could have been the one dead. He says to her, could have been you because you around a nigga? And she says to him, no, because I'm around you. You bringing mess on yourself. You think a motherfucker trying to criticize you. You bring shit on yourself like the mess, like this messiness is how you move, how you're so flamboyant, how you putting shit out. I don't even know what I got myself into. You want me to text your side bitch Rika? She got gas to get you to get up there to you. You act like a motherfucker can't be mad. I got your daughter, and you tell me you got money somewhere else when you're out here risking your life and your freedom every fucking day. Like I can call Bree and ask Bree to do anything for my daughter. They continue talking about he hasn't seen his daughter in weeks.
I say, as a dude that didn't really live in the hood, I can't believe they really talk like they do in the movies. That's the.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's all real. It says Glover says to unknown female, how much money is at your house? She said, whatever you put there. I didn't count all the money. He said, count the rubber bands and let me know how much is there. Okay, I'll call you when I get home. It's gonna be a minute. He said, I love you. She said, I love you too. So my man was playing. Boy, he's a player. He says, Jay Glover, he calls Adrian Walker, Jay Glover. Said, Jay Glover to Walker, where you at? Walker, you know the spot. E. Jay Glover says to Walker, I just watched the news, nigga. They trying to act like they had a search warrant for Bree's house too. A. Walker and Jay Glover, I know. The only thing I can figure out is they checked that license plate. They've been putting an investigation on motherfuckers. Jay Glover said they checked Bree's license plates. He said, that's the only thing I could think of. A motherfucker that pull up on the block in the Charger. That's the only thing that I could think of, which he was right. Jay Glover said, who at no haters, who at no haters running their mouth? I don't know what that means. He say, that nigga Kenneth Walker didn't have no business doing that shit. That nigga got Bree killed. Walker says to Glover, you got to see like the bigger picture to it though. You feel me? It's more to it than that. how you feeling right now? Jay Glover says to Walker, I know. She was feeling me. At the end of the day, everything's stolen from me, though. I swear I know that. Jay Glover says to A. Walker, that man tell me I watched you leave your baby mama house. All right. If you watch me leave my baby mama house, then why would you execute a warrant at Bree's house? Bree got the charger and all of that shit. Bree's paper trail makes sense of everything she got, though. Jay Glover says to A. Walker, I don't understand how they could serve a warrant for Bree's house when nothing ties me to Bree's house at all except bonds.
Hey, Cash, question for you. So on these phone calls, how do they get the transcript? So if you call the jail or if you call prison,
they record it.
There. So how dumb are they? Out of curiosity, like do some criminals just not know the shit's recorded?
They just don't care sometimes. They have to talk. You know what I'm saying? They have to be able to communicate. So they risk it. And then at this point, he's already caught up. So it don't even matter. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He's already in jail and he's talking about a situation that's outside of him. You know, Breonna Taylor, losing her life, that's outside of him. That's a whole separate incident, has nothing to do with probably the case that he has on him for what he's in there for.
Yeah, because he's not incriminating himself. He's just essentially trying to get some information on why they were at the house and so. Okay, so I got you. So he's not really outing himself. He's essentially proving why Breonna is involved.
Exactly.
Which doesn't hurt him because she's already dead.
Exactly.
Okay.
He says, I don't understand how they serve a warrant to Bree's house when nothing ties me to the house at all. He says bonds and cars in 2016. It's just ties, though. Look at the ties since 2016. Ever since Rambo homicide victim, Rambo, and the camera right there. They see a motherfucker pull up. Jay Glover says, A. Walker, yeah, she was out there the top of the week before I went to court. He said, A. Walker says to Glover, they didn't even have to see her pull up. All they had to do was see the license plate. They done put 2 and 2 together. And on top of that, they go over there and find money. Jay Glover says to A. Walker, no, Bree don't. Bro, you don't know how Bree do. They didn't find nothing in her house. A. Walker said, I thought you said they found some money over there. Jay Glover says to Walker, it was there. It was there. They didn't do nothing, though. That's the problem. Kenneth said, ain't none of that go on. So A. Walker says to Glover, so they didn't take none of the money? Glover says to Walker, Kenneth said that none of that go on. He said homicide came straight on the scene and they went packaging Bree and they left. So they basically got her body up out of there. So A. Walker to Jay Glover, he said they didn't announce themselves or something. Jay Glover says to Walker, he's saying they wasn't. He's saying they was just banging real hard. Jay Glover says he was in the hallway. Jay Glover said to A. Walker, in the hallway, nigga? A. Walker said to Jay Glover, that's just so sad, bro. Jay Glover said to A. Walker, you think I ain't hurt? You think I ain't hurt, nigga? You know I don't give a fuck about nothing but them. Nothing but Bree. Nothing but Rika. Nothing but Inaudible. Them my only 3. I don't do shit for nobody else out there, bro. A. Walker says to Glover, I told Inaudible, from what I understand, they wasn't fucking with each other. When y'all get her phone, y'all need to go on her phone and get the number and see that, Chop. Your number was blocked. Jay Glover said to A. Walker, yeah, we, Bree and him, had had text that day, though. Big dog, that's the thing. We texted that day, nigga. On my life, she was texting me, asking me when this stuff coming in from my car. I'm sending everything to her. We on good terms. To where she's making sure she gets her shit. She done started fucking with Kenneth, so I'm playing the player. She gonna get rid of this shit because she always do. I let her do her thing. I can show my phone. I ain't been talking to her at all. But she texted yesterday out of the blue. When this stuff come in, I was like, I don't know. I'm going to let you do you. I'm going to let you know, but they done took the money. I sent the tracking information to her. Then she told me I had a hoodie and shit come in. She told me that the shit came that the shit come in. Nigga own everything. Jay Glover says, "Hey Walker, she Breonna Taylor gonna turn her back on me because she loved this nigga Kenneth Walker. That nigga did this shit. At the end of the day, if I would have been in that house, Bree would be alive, bro. I don't shoot at no police. Facts. See, he was even smart enough to know not to shoot at the police. He was even smart enough to know not to shoot at the police. All right. So he ends up calling his baby mama back. They're arguing about the relationship and their daughter, and she tells him, "You had Bree's car on Valentine's Day. We weren't together. You don't care about nothing but the money." This coincides with the PBI detectives' observation observed on the poll camera of 2/13/2020. Jamarcus Glover pulled up in front of 2424 Elliott Avenue, driving a black Dodge Charger registered to Breonna Taylor. When Jamarcus went inside the residence, Breonna Taylor was observed getting out of the passenger seat for a few seconds and then getting back inside the vehicle. So, yeah, man, look, this is a whole lot of reading, and I would love to sit here and read all this, but it is just a lot. You guys can go and read this at the Tatum Report. I wanted to show what they didn't show. You know what I'm saying? I wanted you guys to see what they didn't want you to see. They don't want you to know any of these things that I've showed you. Why? Because it shows you, it implicates her. She knew exactly what was going on. The dude knew what was going on. It's a setup, man. It's all a setup, right? And the way that they're pushing it to people and the way that they're trying to make it seem is that nobody didn't know nothing. Breonna was this good, hardworking girl, and she was innocent, and that's not the case. That's not what really happened, man. And I'm sad that she had to pass away. I really am. I wish that she was alive today, you know, but if you guys were listening to all that report, when they arrested the people, when they went to that one house that Breonna had been to before with Jamarcus, she could have been arrested that day too, had she have been there at the right time. And then we wouldn't even be arguing nothing. We would know that she was implicated and wouldn't have to even be talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that weigh in here. There's a lot of things. So if you guys want to read that, I'm going to go ahead and post it up, the Tatum Report right quick.
Yeah, throw it up there. So I want to tell you some of the things that I saw on social media, which again, the importance of looking at this is because it goes against everything that was ingrained into our brain in the beginning, which I saw somebody, again, this is a very intelligent, liberal woman that I'm friends with on social media, where she posted today, "I cannot imagine any scenario where a posse of black cops could barge into an apartment, shoot a white woman asleep in her bed, then let her bleed out, and a jury would say it happens. Sorry. There is still no justice for a black woman murdered by police in her own bed while sleeping in her own home." People still believe this. And then some people, when you bring them the truth, they go, "Oh, let me look at this differently," which I've had a couple of those conversations, which actually make me sane again. And then there's some people that go, "But does it really matter? It's still an innocent black person being killed." And I'm like, did we not hear anything that I just said?
Wait a minute. Can this get me kicked off YouTube?
What?
Can this get me kicked off YouTube sharing this?
Why?
I don't know. Somebody said it in the comments.
I don't know. You're just sharing. You're not sharing you're just sharing his page. You're not sharing the actual link to the police report.
Okay.
Should be fine.
That
link works. I mean, you could post it on Facebook. I don't see why it's an issue.
We're going to see.
I guess we'll see. Meanwhile, by the way, as I've been finishing up my discussions of the day, I'm being called a racist on another page, if you're wondering.
It's okay.
I'm getting better at taking it because I realize I know I'm not, first off. And secondly, it's just the automatic response people have this day and age. So if I can't take it, then I can't take it, but I can take it. So, but it does get frustrating.
This is what I wanted to leave with, man. And you know, look, guys, this is an unfortunate. Let me ask you something, Anthony.
Yeah.
Did you want Breonna Taylor to die?
No.
Is it sad that she died?
Absolutely.
Do you think that this was racial?
No, not at all.
Do you think that there's some conspiracy out there happening that the judge and everybody's in cahoots against this woman, and if she had been white, that these officers would have been charged differently and all these things would have happened differently?
Well, people bring up the fact that the one officer that got the one charge or the indictment, the reason that he got indicted was because it was into a white person's apartment that he shot the wall, which is also not. It's the only thing that was actually punishable by our own justice system, for one. So yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. So what I was gonna say is, nobody wanted Breonna Taylor to die. Nobody wants anybody to die, especially in that matter, man. And I know that emotions are high. I get it. I know over there in Kentucky, man, I know you guys got to be like racking your brains, and because of the media and how everything is pushed, that you guys believe that America hates you, or that America is against you, or that people think that you don't matter. But you know that that's not really the case, man. When you look at it in your heart of hearts, you know for a fact that that's not the case. You know, people get away with things all the time. People do things all the time and don't end up dead. In this instance, it's not a common occurrence that these things happen. All right. It's one of them things that just, it's unfortunate, but it's not common, and it shouldn't make you as angry as it's making you. We have to be real and understand that she was a part of something that, you know, some people where we from is a part of. And you know what comes with the game. 3 things come with the game: money, Mac, and murder. You know what I'm saying? You might die. You might get some money. You might get some play. That's the 3 things that come with it. But it's a guarantee that something's going to come with it. Not always this extreme. In this case, it was extreme. It's sad. But we can't act like that she didn't know what was going on. We can't act like that she wasn't involved. We can't act like that she was a victim. She wasn't a victim. She was a victim of a bullet because of somebody in her home that was shooting at police, even though the police were there at her house to search her residence for drugs. They say that they were searching for the guy. They weren't searching for the guy. This was a narcotics investigation. They were looking for drugs. They were looking for money, things to implicate these people that they were investigating. It's sad how it went. It's sad how it turned out. But don't make it like they were at the wrong house. Breonna was a servant of the community, an EMT, innocent. Those are things that she wasn't. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I'm saying that because we got to be real. I'm sad that she passed away. When I first heard that she passed away, I was sad. I was like everybody else until I looked into it. I'm trying to help y'all look into it. All right? It's a messed up thing when anybody loses their life. It's horrible. God bless. I hope to God that she's in the comfort of the Almighty right now. I don't know what was going on in that house before that happened. I don't know where she was in her life. I don't know what her beliefs were. I don't know if she was trying to get away from it. I don't know. No one knows. Only her and God knows at this point. So let's just hope to God that she's in the comfort of God, that she's in the presence of God, and that her family gets some kind of peace, that her family, and just pray for her family. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad thing, sad situation, but we should not tear up our country over it. If it was something justified and it's something that really was wrong and race-based and horrible, then I'd be with you. I'd be angry with you. But I can't be angry with you in this. I cannot be angry with you in this because it's wrong. What happened was unfortunate, but it was not unjustified. There's a difference. That being said, you got any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I don't know. Did you see what Charles Barkley and Shaq said last night?
No, I did not.
They got a lot of shit for it. They somehow it came up during their TNT news bit, and they talked about, they're like, we can't group Breonna Taylor into all these other cases because this is like, it's sad. She shouldn't be dead today, but it's one of, we can't group this into the Tamir Rices. You can't group any time a black person dies at the hands of police, whether it was deserved, justified, etc. You can't group it in, and that's all they said. And then they said a comment where they said, you know, we got to stop with this defund the police stuff. Charles Barkley, who is very against LeBron James, which I think is part of the reason he stepped up. They always have a tiff and they've got a fight going on. And he said, you know, if you look at these wealthy white communities, they're not going to get rid of the police. So that means that any of these tax dollars that are going to police, those communities are going to be protected. And what are we just going to say, defund them in our own communities? It's stupid, and we got to move past it. And they got, of course, a lot of flack on social media for it, which is, again,
That's real, though.
telling of the country. And they were real. And that's why I love Charles and Shaq, man. I was like, say it as it is. And fact is, right now, it's like the inability for people to we put emotion so far. No, I'm sorry. One side of the political spectrum puts emotion so far ahead of fact that it makes it impossible to have a logical conversation. I just beg people that are on the fence or slightly left side to just listen to fact and take a second. Take a second and understand that what they're like, if one is arguing math and emotion, math always wins, even though it's hard to hear. So you have to hear the hard to hear stuff and let it sink in. And that does not make the person that's giving you math bad. It makes them just able to disconnect from the emotion in order to see the truth behind it all.
I agree. That being said, guys, I really, 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 really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I really do. Thank you for all the love, all the support. If you're watching from Facebook, please go to my YouTube, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another video, you never miss another update. I appreciate you for using Super Chat, and I appreciate all of you guys who support through my PayPal or my Cash App. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the support. It helps. It goes a long way. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I will be back on later. We're going to talk about some other things. I've been digging back in, man. Today has been literally just all about studying, reading, and looking into all these things. So I got something else planned on for you guys later on today. Be looking for that. I love y'all. Unite, don't fight. Be a street light.
Wait.
That you want to see in the world.
Give a shout out to Becky.
Where's Becky?
Super Chat.
Oh, I didn't even see that, Becky. Dang, girl. Holy crap. Becky, thank you. I appreciate that. That's love right there, for real. Thank you. That's huge. Thank you for that.
You rock. Thank you, sister.
That's dope. Okay.
And if anybody knows anything that you guys don't know what's going on with Cash, that means more than you know. So thank you. It's been a rough couple days for, I think, a lot of us. So
yeah, I ain't gonna get into it. I'm gonna leave my personal life personal from now on. I'm not gonna put it out there, but I'm good. Yeah. Thank you again, Becky. I appreciate you. And everybody else too. All of you guys for everything. Whether $1 to $100 to a share on Facebook, or a share from YouTube, or subscribe and ringing the bell. Thank you. I appreciate you. It all helps. All of it. That being said, man, unite, don't fight, be a street light, because only you could be the change that you want to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, you got to remember to pray, America. Woo! Yeah, brother!
These videos are simply wonderful. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification bell.